Well, I mean, it's clearly very disturbing. This is Donald Trump's revenge tour, and we're worried also for what's next. We've been communicating with Senator Schiff, for example, from my home state of California, and this idea that you have the president essentially turning the Department of Justice into his own personal vendetta force, where he goes out for anyone that he believes has wronged him, is highly disturbing. This is something that every single American should be concerned about and engage with. He clearly has a revenge agenda for this country. He's going to continue to go after folks that he believes have wronged him. And it's more than just that, because we know that most of these cases, and hopefully all these cases, won't stand actually in court. This is also about intimidation. This is about letting other folks know across the country, members of Congress, governors, folks that might stand up to him, letting them know that if you wrong the president in some way, he is going to turn the Department of Justice against you. He is going to go after you. So it's clearly a very dangerous moment for the country, and one that should remind us again why it's so important that we limit Donald Trump's power, that we win in 2026, and that we, for once and for all, eliminate the threat that Donald Trump poses to this country by winning these elections.
I want to follow up on what you just said there, Congressman. What have you heard from Senator Schiff? How is he processing this right now? We saw today the stories that we've been covering about John Bolton hitting the streets now, that he's next up. The administration, at least some of its minions, have already put out indications that the senator could be next. What are you hearing from the senator? What's his concern? I love the sound of him standing firmly in the space and saying, "I'm not bowed nor afraid." But how does that translate for him?
We're actually just communicating earlier. A group of us from the California delegation, we're actually have been communicating with Senator Schiff. He knows that we have his back, but he is unafraid. To be very clear, he is not going to stop his criticism of the administration and really his forceful defense of our country and our Constitution. And the idea that Donald Trump is going to try to target him, to target Attorney General James in New York, this is unprecedented as it relates to the future of this country and our Constitution and the separation of powers. I mean, the very foundation of who we are as a country is under attack. And so it is a serious moment for this country. And I hope people understand that this requires us all to be engaged. And I think so many folks I've talked to just in the last few days, I've had conversations with people that have been a little bit disengaged since the election, just honestly just trying to recover from that election. And they're finally getting back engaged. They're finally saying this is enough. They're standing up. They're going to protest. They're getting engaged. They're being loud. They're rewatching the news again. And so Americans have to understand that if we're not in this fight right now, they're going to steamroll our Constitution and our democracy.
Speaking of being in the fight, you sent a letter to Congressman Comer demanding he schedule Ghislaine Maxwell's testimony. Let me just read you a little bit from that. Maxwell's crimes and her central role in Epstein's sex trafficking operation position her as a critical witness with knowledge relevant and fundamental to this committee's investigation. Indeed, in correspondence with Maxwell's attorneys, you stated that her testimony is, quote, vital to the committee's efforts regarding Mr. Jeffrey Epstein. My understanding is Comer has said he believes the committee will be able to schedule this testimony. Does he, though, share your sense of urgency?
I definitely don't think he shares my sense of urgency. We were demanding that Ghislaine Maxwell appear before the committee months and months ago. And then Comer made the decision to wait for the appeal process through the Supreme Court, and so held that deposition. Now, of course, that process is now over. The Supreme Court rejected the appeal, rightly so. And what's important to remember is, one, Ghislaine Maxwell, of course, herself is a monster, right? She has done horrific things. A known liar, trafficked children and girls and women, with Jeffrey Epstein's partner in the incredible violence and damage she's done to so many lives. And for Donald Trump and the DOJ then to move her from a maximum security prison to some kind of club prison situation where she can roam more freely and have more access to rights and to freedom of movement is shameful. And the victims and survivors that I have talked to are furious about that. And so because of everything happening and because of the way this case is building, we feel we're building a good case. it's critical that we get Ghislaine Maxwell in front of the committee. She has answered Tom Blanche's questions, basically Donald Trump's former personal lawyer's questions. It is time for her to answer our questions. And we understand that she probably wants a pardon. We understand she's going to want to say things to make Donald Trump happy. We understand. But at the end of the day, it is important that we hear from her and that she answer questions directly in a way that we can hold her to the truth. And I'll say one other thing, which I think is important in this moment. The reason why we need the Epstein files and the DOJ has to release the whole files is because we need to take the information that's in those files and documents, and I understand photos and other artifacts, and then use those to ask the questions, to build the case, to understand that we're actually getting facts from the witnesses and from folks like Maxwell. And so a big part of them stalling this is when we go through these depositions, they don't want us to have all the information. And so again, this is a White House cover-up. Let's be crystal clear.
Congressman, can we just switch gears slightly before we let you go? You have added a whistleblower intake line to your website as the administration starts mass firings today. It reads, if you have knowledge of corporate or government corruption and abuses of power, insights into the crimes of Jeffrey Epstein and his associates, or information regarding potential wrongdoing or waste, fraud, and abuse of taxpayer dollars, your disclosure can make a difference. Again, the administration is, I would argue, illegally and unceremoniously firing people today. Tell us a little bit about this insight, and have you heard from anyone yet?
We have. So we've just launched this whistleblower protection line. It's a tip line also, and it's for anyone. So for one, if you're a federal employee and you understand that your superior is breaking the law or asking you to do something that is unethical or illegal, we want to hear from you.